Morning, good morning. 8 hours later, and I still have no idea how the Pacers won this game. My first two thoughts was this cannot be a finals game. The amount of turnovers and the chaos, both teams, the shot selection is just like sloppy, choppy game. That's my first thought. Then my second thought is this the biggest choke job here for a coach in game one of NBA Finals history? Because this Thunder coach completely blew it. Dagono just completely blew it. I'll get into him in a second, but first I want to get the Pacers credit because that's why you just don't give up on a game. They felt like they were down by in between 9 to 13 points, predominantly 11 to 13 points for it seemed like forever in the second half. Even at the end of the first half, they just couldn't get over the hump. And they just kept sticking with it. And then boom, down by nine with 3 minutes and change left. And the Pacers just keep doing this. It's fascinating to watch from a fan's perspective, betting perspective, coach perspective. They just do not quit. They play the same way the entire time, for better or for worse. The ball's always moving. I mean, I am screaming at Haliburton throughout the entire game because obviously I got his points as a prop, but also I got the Pacers, and he just won't be aggressive. Shea's out there shooting 11 shots in the first quarter, 18 for the first half, 30 for the game, and Haliburton is just passive. He won't penetrate. It seemed like the lights were a little bright for him. And then McConnell comes in for the Pacers, and he's being aggressive. He got a big 9 points. Just it felt like the game was teetering a couple of times, and he made a couple shots. But Halliburton, they were just comfortable. The Pacers were to move the ball around, and Halliburton felt like he needed to take over, and he wouldn't do it. And then on top of that, the turnovers. This is the most mind-boggling stat. I hate to use so much hyperbole, but I think that I've ever heard in my entire life, especially in an NBA Finals game, that one team could have 19 turnovers on the road in the first half, like the Pacers did, and not be down by a gazillion points. Like they're right in the game. They finish with 24 turnovers, and the Thunder have six. Like that's almost impossible to think the Thunder could lose a game like that at home. Shea scores 38 points. Halliburton scores 14. Siakam, scored only 19. They forced 24 turnovers, and they still somehow blow the game. This was way worse for the Thunder than blowing game one to the Nuggets, where Gordon hits the buzzer beater, and there were some, bad fouls at the end. This Thunder, I'm going to get into it now. I thought Dagono blew it. I thought he absolutely blew it. And I listened to a couple people right after the game, and I didn't hear people, they talked about Holmgren not getting minutes at the end of the game. But for me, he blew it with Hartenstein. So let's just start with what Dagono, the coach of the Thunder, did before the game started. Changed the starting lineup. Instead of having the two big guys in there, Hartenstein and Holmgren, he benches Hartenstein in favor of Case and Wallace. The logic there was it actually worked, right? Like we want to be even more aggressive on the perimeter. We don't believe that Hartenstein matches up well with, Turner or Siakam, frankly. So we're going to bring in another wing. We'll switch everything, and we'll just let Holmgren roam the middle. And boy, it almost worked to perfection because they're forcing all these turnovers after turnovers after turnovers. And Thunder, it looked like the great switch. There's two problems. One, they didn't capitalize off the turnover. So even though that coaching decision seemed to be the right one, the Thunder should have been up by 20 at halftime, and they weren't. And part of that was just poor shot selection. I just thought Shea took a few too many shots instead of moving the ball. But then the second problem, and this is where I think Dagono lost the game, is he kept that lineup in to close the game. And you see this happen time and time again. And this was, as Ravens fans, the complaint with the Greg Roman offense. Like, do you have another pitch? Like, if your only pitch is just going to be a fastball as fast as you can, and you don't have that curve, you don't have the changeup, then teams are going to figure it out. And it felt like Dagnall said, fine, we're going to blitz, we're going to force a bunch of turnovers. That's how we're going to play. And then as the game is winding down, there's 4, 5, 6 minutes left in the game, and he just doesn't put Holmgren and Hartenstein in the game, especially Hartenstein. Hartenstein in 17 minutes, what do you have? 9 points, 9 rebounds, and he sets the best picks in the NBA. Makes the Thunder, that was the missing piece. That was their big free agent signing, was Caruso and Hartenstein. Hartenstein gives them that rim protection. They then get out rebounded by 17 rebounds. Siakam gets a couple ones late, and that's what broke him. I can't believe he didn't put Holmgren back in the game. I know he's 2 for 9, but he plays 24 minutes. I just thought that was the wrong decision, and his closing lineup has no big guys on it, and you're winning the game. Like that part just absolutely blows my mind. You didn't need to force turnovers and you didn't need to play fast. Those last 3, 4 minutes, let's grind the game out, get your two big guys in there, get those offensive rebounds, and the Pacers are just not going to be able to have enough time to get back in it. And this happens, you see this happen in sports at the highest level all the time. If you do not put a team away, it's just like the sports gods allow them to keep coming back. And you get bad karma when you don't put a team away. This Neesmith character for the Pacers is the best fourth quarter shooter in the world. Like he just makes every 3-pointer. The one he made in that corner was huge. But for me, for the Pacers, as I'm watching the game down the stretch, it's like, who wants the ball? Like, Haliburton makes the last shot, but the reason why I'm not leading this morning with him is because I thought he was bad yesterday. I thought he just did not bad, but to his standard, just not good at all. He needs to be dominant for the Pacers to win. At least I thought, and for them to win the game yesterday is just blows my mind. But it gets me back to Nembhard. He makes that step back three where the shot clock's winding down, and Haliburton just like didn't demand the ball. And Nembhard's like, "Fuck it, I guess I got to do it myself." Puts what looked like a Kyrie-esque move, Curry-esque move, just a beautiful step back, bangs a three, and I believe that cut the lead to three. And then he plays great defense against Shea. The broadcasters pointed out yesterday, but him and Shea, Nembhard and Shea both play on Team Canada. They played each other for probably decades now growing up. And Nembhard, it felt like he knew a lot of his moves, and he made it difficult. In that last shot when the Thunder up one, Shea got where he wanted, but it wasn't in a lot of rhythm. Right? You play basketball, you know the difference. If you're open, it's one thing to be open, but if you're not in rhythm, and the way he kind of had to move his feet a little bit, move his head at the end, and he misses a shot. Neesmith gets the rebound. And then this is why I like the Pacers. I'm taking a little victory lap this morning, but Carlisle is going to run circles around a lot of coaches, but especially in game one of the NBA Finals against a coach that's never been there. He's going to run circles around him. I thought Dagnall just blew it at the end of the game, and then Carlisle didn't blow it, right? Like he doesn't call the timeout. It's like we've seen this movie now, feels like a million times here with Haliburton. The game's winding down. We're down by one. I'm not going to let the Thunder sub in Holmgren or sub in, Hartenstein to protect the rim, or if Dagnall even was going to do that, or at least set up their defense. I'm just going to let this play out. And Haliburton gets a very below average shot. Almost looked like a double pumper. Excuse me, like a shot where it's so hard for me to criticize Caruso here, but Caruso cheats on his man to bucket Haliburton. And if he just stays with Haliburton, there's not going to be enough time for Haliburton to make the pass to the open guy to get the shot. And that little bit of hesitation as Caruso shows on him and then moves, and Haliburton has just enough space to get it up. And holy moly, the Pacers win. I get to win both the bets as the point total goes over. And somebody messaged me and asked me, well, if you like the Pacers over, why don't you just take the over for the game? And I said, because I'm just not sold on the Thunder yet. I got to see it in the NBA Finals with the pressure, and they fell apart. I really blame the coach. I'm looking at the box score. This kid Mitchell for the Thunder gets 4 minutes in the first half for no apparent reason, and then doesn't get any minutes in the second half. They didn't use the bench as much as I thought they should have, being at home. And Shea took a lot of shots. This series is it's as much as a 50-50 series now. I'm actually favoring the Pacers. I know the betting odds are going to say otherwise. I think I saw 350 today, 330, that the minus 350 that the Thunder, but it's really tough to win Indiana. I got this series going 3-1 back to the Thunder and back to Oklahoma City. Like I am really bullish on Indiana after winning that game. I don't know how they're going to win a game like that and have the season they're having, have this run just for them to come up short at the very end. This just feels like maybe the most improbable NBA Finals champion of at least of my era or my lifetime that I can remember. This team is just wild. And the fact they won last night, people might think the Thunder are going to win by 40 in game two. I would be way cautious against that. I know that's what they did to the Nuggets in game two. They blew them out. It's hard to blow out this Pacers team. They're too diversified, and they didn't play as fast. It was weird. They were playing like out of control yesterday. They can play much better, I'm not sure the Thunder win game two. I have a feeling they'll win game two, but I'm going to probably take the Pacers again to cover. And then it's going to go back to Indiana. And I think the Pacers are going to win both those games. I think it's going to be 3-1. And Thunder will probably win game five. And I think you're going to get a 3-2 at home. And can Indiana close it out? I feel like that's how dramatic that win was yesterday for the Pacers. So I will talk about it on Monday for game two in the spirit of not jinxing things because ever since I went back onto the positive train here for the Orioles, and I did it, and to my credit, I did it right before the Red Sox series after I buried Elias and said, well, I can either every 3 days bury Elias again, or is there any chance we got one more like run in us? And I felt like I was talking myself into it going into the Red Sox series. And then maybe I was a little bit more optimistic. Um, what was it? Tuesday, right? Going into the Seattle series. But now, I mean, geez, I feel like put all your money on the Orioles going to the playoffs over their win total. The way they won the games, I mean, look, if you're watching the games, you're listening to other people, you can go back and be like, man, the luck is kind of turning around. Povich tried to give up a home run. It barely goes foul. And he strikes out the guy. And then yesterday, it's like, all right, we're finally going to lose. It's 3-1, sixth inning. The offense just isn't there. You're not going to win every game here. Should we try to climb back into it? And then your two stars, right? The two guys that put us on the mat, Gunnar and Adley, are like, yeah, I think we still have a chance. And then for Baker to get the save, the one thing everyone has to acknowledge, and I got to do it too with Mansolino. Maybe he's a bad interviewer, maybe he wasn't really ready for the job, but he's got a good feel for people. When you're watching the game and you're looking at the pitchers and he's keeping the starters in, he's keeping guys in the lineup who had a good day yesterday. He's like, yeah, I'm giving Cowser a break yesterday, and it has nothing to do with there being a lefty starter. It's I want Mateo in there, and that is a way better environment for players than you're not good enough to hit this left-hander, so you're not playing. Like Mansolino um, is he's doing something that's instilling some confidence in the pitching staff, especially. And that's something that I guess you can read things and hear tidbits, but you're not going to get everything, right? And they spend a lot of time together in the locker room, on the field, and the energy that he's bringing, the confidence, and you see it in Baker yesterday. That's probably the best story if I had to pick one for the Orioles is Brian Baker just saying, you know what, whatever you guys need me to do, I'm going to do it. And big save yesterday, just a big game, awesome for the Orioles. So head to Sacramento. Didn't know I was going to be saying that to face the Oakland Athletics. That's still a thing. I was actually happy. Let me see what they scored. 14 runs yesterday. I was like, yeah, no, good. The Athletics got their. They were going to win eventually, right? Their offense is going to do something. So what are they? They beat the Twins 14-3 yesterday, and yeah, what they? I think it was 17 out of 18 before that. So in my opinion, they felt so good about winning yesterday that they can just afford to lose 3 games over the weekend against the Orioles. So we got them at a good time rather than them constantly losing and getting blown out. Feel good about it. I think everybody's in agreement that we're excited to at least watch them. That's what being a fan is. They were unwatchable a couple weeks ago. Cowser is certainly a nice boost to have back, and more reinforcements are coming. I don't know if they'll land in Sacramento or they'll probably just wait until they come back to Baltimore. Obviously, I think they will, considering the other side of the country. But Westberg will be back in there. Laureano. Yeah, it's a great situation considering we're 25-36. Feel pretty good. So enjoy your weekend. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to get to. But yeah, that's my rant about the Pacers last night, pulling it off. Game two is Sunday night. I'll put out my bets on Sunday. And yeah, let's keep this winning streak going. Have a great day and have a great weekend. See you guys.